Hello everyone, welcome to Bikini Design Club. Well, today we are gonna sew the rayon bottom. So this is an M size. I've already printed and assembled my patterns. If you have any questions, we have a video or on our YouTube channel letting you know how to assemble our patterns. So I have already cutted my self fabric and my lining piece. My lining will be white and my self fabric will be this coral, beautiful textured ribbed fabric. Then for the back we have the fold here. This is the cheeky look. So we have the fold on this side, so we will have both sides. This is the left cheek and the right cheek, so I already also cut it both. We will need, of course, our cutter, some pins, some clips, some pins, a scissor and our sewing machine. If you don't have an overlock, use your straight stitch machine with an elastic stitch like the zigzag. So let's start. The first step is to prepare our back. So we will have to unite this. So you can do like this, and you know that you will pin this. If you have questions regarding the size that you want, or if you want to change your sizes for the side straps, please take into consideration that this one has a fold and this one doesn't. So the side size, it's not the same in front and on your back. So if you are intending to change the size of the sides, please check our sizes first and try to mimicate what we suggested in our pattern. So I'm pinning both sides. As you can see, once this will be like this. Okay, so let's sew these areas here and here. Okay, so this is done. Now let's go to the front. I always put my self fabric on top because I want to make sure that I remember to put the elastic on this side of the fabric. So let's pin the leg holes on both sides. So I already pinned around the leg holes. Now let's sew these areas. So I've applied the elastic here, and this is already ready to put together with the back parts. But before I do that, I'm going to my straight stitch machine and using a zigzag stitch, a small zigzag stitch, I'm gonna reinforce here and here. First, because I didn't use the color of the fabric to sew this, and secondly because once this is on the correct side, I don't like when it stretches and you can see the color of the threads, and since I didn't change them, I'm gonna do a stitch with the color on my straight stitch. So as you can see, I did this for the back and also for the front. Now we can turn the front to the right side and it will be very nice, and also this one. Well, so now we have the back and the front. Okay, we are not gonna sew this area, the crotch area, for now. We are going to attach the sides. So if you imagine the side like this, right? This means that we unfold this and we unfold the back. So we will need to sew here like this, just pinning, clipping so that you can see. Okay, and once it is on the correct place, it will be like this. And we do the same on this side. The only small trick that I do here is matching exactly. I want the seam to be towards the lining piece. So you see the here, okay, so I put it to this side, and then as you can see, this has a shape, so I make sure I put this on the right in the middle. And then this is optional, of course, but I do a small hand stitch to secure this middle area exactly where I want it to be, and then I pin the rest, and then I do the same on the other side, and then we will be ready to go to our sewing machine. So as you can see, I've sewn the sides, and I also used the zigzag stitch on each side. So now we can put it to the right side, and we will have our bottom almost ready. We just need to sew the crotch area and around the top here. Now there's a lot of ways of doing this. I'm gonna tell you my way. I'm gonna leave a small hole on the front. I'm gonna hand stitch it in the end. It's the only hole that I'm gonna use. So in here in the front I already left a bit without the zigzag stitch, so it's easier for me to open the small hole here. So open a small hole on your front piece. There are many ways, as I told you, to do this, okay? This is the way I find it to be with the better finish. So this is my way, but not your way maybe. Well, now that we have a hole here in front, we are ready to do the rest. So follow me, I will do it slowly so that you can follow the steps and do it correctly. So place your bottom exactly how you will wear them, so like this. And now imagine that we want this to be together here, right, on the crotch area. So put your front piece inside your back piece like this, and then grab here through the back piece, put your hand, grabbing here, put your hand here and open until you grab what you have on the other side. So now we will have a piece like this with our front and our back. You see that our front is inside our back. We are going to align this area. I'm going to hand stitch to secure because, as I told you before, I like the connections between the parts and the seams to be towards the lining piece. So I'm going to hand stitch to make this secure. Then we are going to the machine to straight stitch or on the overlock if you prefer. So let's prepare this area. Okay, this is done. I used the zigzag and also a straight stitch. Now I'm going to trim the excess fabric without cutting my zigzag stitch, of course. And once you put it to the correct side, you will see the two pieces are already connected. We're gonna do only the waist area. So front with front, like this, everything inside and keeping the fronts together. You want to sew your front and your back also. So I'm just gonna put a clip so I don't lose the parts, the two layers that I wanna sew. So I'm going here to the sides. I always like to start on the side seam. So I pull my fabric, I put my side seams towards the back. I place them together. As always, I'm gonna do a hand stitch to secure the seams on the correct place. After that, I'm gonna pin, and then we are going to the machine because we are gonna go all around the waist area in one time. I was actually starting on the wrong side just because I like to put my elastic on the self fabric, and this would not be the correct way. So I want to start with my self fabric facing up. So I'm gonna start on this side, okay? So just do the same, tuck in, only two layers, the two front layers, pull the rest. It's the same, but I want to start on the self fabric, so it's exactly the same. So we've done all the top area around, as you saw on the previous moments, and now the only thing we need to do is put the bottom piece to the right side. We will pull all the swimsuit, the bottom to the through this area, and we will, through the front hole that we left, we are gonna unfold it to the correct side. We are not finished. Don't forget that you need to close your hole with a hand stitch. I did this in white. It was on purpose. I love the white with the coral color, and I also want to use this bikini like this because I love seeing this with this color. And just a small detail for you to know. Well, once I was cutting my fabric, as you can see, this fabric is ribbed. So I had to be careful when cutting the two parts of my bottom piece, so the ribs would be on the correct direction. You see, the ribs are vertical, and in the front of the bottom, the ribs are vertical also. So you have to see when cutting, despite you have the fold on a diagonal, you have to make sure you cut both back pieces, making sure that this fabric in specific, that the ribbed direction is correct. I hope you've liked it. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see you on our next tutorial.